Napoleon Bonaparte is one of the most remarkable figures in world history. He is considered a brilliant strategist with immense work ethic and an extraordinary memory. However, modern historians increasingly claim that his image is surrounded by myths, many of which he created himself. In 1804, Napoleon became the Emperor of France, a country he had disliked since childhood. The French, whose sons were conscripted into the army en masse starting in 1813, nicknamed him the Ogre. Spaniards saw him as the Antichrist because of his policy of nationalizing church lands. Instead of improving the lives of the French people, Napoleon focused on expanding his dynasty's power, which ultimately led to his downfall. The future emperor was born on August 15, 1769, in Corsica, which had come under French control just a year earlier. His family belonged to the local impoverished nobility with ancient Genoese roots. Napoleon, one of 12 children, only 7 of whom survived to adulthood, grew up in poverty. However, his father, Carlo Bonaparte, was an ambitious man who secured a position as a representative of Corsican nobility at the French court. This allowed Napoleon to attend elite French schools. His academic success, particularly in mathematics, geography, and military strategy, paved the way for his military career. As a child, Napoleon spoke a Corsican dialect of Italian. He began learning French only at the age of 10. In his youth, he studied at the school in Brienne-le-Château, where he suffered from ridicule due to his background and heavy accent. Fascinated by history, mathematics, and geography, he excelled academically but frequently clashed with his teachers. Napoleon once told a friend that he would seek revenge on France for its humiliations, a promise he partially fulfilled. Interesting fact, Napoleon had exceptional mathematical abilities. He even published several works on mathematics, and one of the theorems bears his name, the Napoleon theorem. Additionally, he was interested in engineering and contributed to the development of fortification plans used by the French army. He also wrote literary works. For example, his novel Clisson and Eugénie reflected his personal experiences. Moreover, Napoleon actively supported science and the arts, founding the French Institute, which became a significant center of scientific research. In 1785, Napoleon became a junior lieutenant of artillery. One of the notable episodes of his service occurred during the Siege of Toulon in 1793. As a young officer, he demonstrated outstanding strategic talent by proposing a plan to capture the city, considered impregnable. Thanks to his tactics, the French army achieved victory and Napoleon was promoted to brigadier general. This moment marked a turning point in his military career, making his name known in political and military circles. By 1795, he had already attained the rank of divisional general. The army he inherited was poorly trained and equipped. Napoleon personally oversaw its preparation, and soon his troops defeated the Austrians in Italy. As a result, Italy and France became allies, and Austria lost control over regions on the Italian peninsula. In 1798, Napoleon set out for Egypt to disrupt British trade with India. The expedition brought not only military but also scientific achievements. French scholars accompanying the army discovered the Rosetta Stone, which later became the key to deciphering ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. Although the British fleet inflicted heavy damage on his army by cutting off its supplies, Napoleon managed to return to France with artifacts that bolstered his reputation. His return coincided with a political crisis in the country, enabling him to seize power. Following this, he became a national hero and, in 1804, declared himself emperor. Interesting fact, despite the myth of Napoleon's short stature, he was of average height for his time, about 169 centimeters, 5'6". This myth arose due to confusion between French and British measurement systems, leading to a misunderstanding and the perpetuation of a false stereotype. Interesting fact, Napoleon was known for his love of hats. Over his lifetime, he amassed around 200 hats, and his bicorn became a symbol of his imperial style. Under Napoleon's leadership, France became one of the world's greatest powers. His army achieved victories over the Holy Roman Empire, Great Britain, and the Ottoman Empire. Napoleon dismantled the Roman Empire by capturing Vienna and weakened the Ottomans by depriving them of control over Egypt. However, these conquests sparked growing resistance across Europe. Interesting fact: on one occasion, Napoleon found a soldier sleeping on duty. Instead of punishing him, Napoleon took his place, strengthening his authority among the troops. The pinnacle of Napoleon's military career was his invasion of Russia in 1812. He reached Moscow, but due to fierce resistance, food shortages, and the harsh winter, he was forced to retreat. Of the 450,000 soldiers in his army, only 25,000 returned home. This campaign marked the beginning of the end of his rule. After the defeat in Russia, his army weakened, and Europe united against him. Guerrilla movements in Italy, Spain, and the Netherlands undermined French influence. In 1814, Napoleon was overthrown and exiled to the island of Elba. He briefly returned to power in 1815, but suffered a final defeat at Waterloo. Afterward, he was exiled to St. Helena, where he died on May 5, 1821, at the age of 51. His cause of death is believed to have been stomach cancer, though some theories suggest possible poisoning. Napoleon actively crafted his image. Through commemorative medals, bulletins, and even paintings, he created the myth of himself as a great ruler and commander. His iconic image, a gray coat, bicorn hat, and hand and waistcoat pose, became a symbol of nobility. Napoleon had a unique ability to inspire soldiers. He once distributed leaflets claiming that bread and boots could be won by defeating the enemy. On another occasion, he personally addressed his troops before a decisive battle, promising rewards and honors for bravery. His speeches motivated his army and instilled confidence even in the toughest situations. For his soldiers, he remained the little corporal, whose charisma inspired loyalty and strength. One of the keys to his success was his ability to adapt to circumstances and take a personal interest in the lives of his men. However, despite his brilliant military achievements, the casualties from his wars exceeded 3 million lives, and the destruction brought to France and Europe continues to spark debates about his true legacy. We hope you found this interesting. Leave your comments and subscribe to our channel to explore more fascinating stories.